And moving on, Japan's venture capital firm Incubate Fund Asia announced the first close of its third fund, which has a target corpus of $50 million. Incubate Fund's India-focused entity has now been rebranded as Incubate Fund Asia to expand focus on supporting pre-seed and seed-stage startups in India and Southeast Asia. Now, the proceeds of the fund will be used to make early-stage investments and also for follow-on investments in startups that have shown strong fundamental growth. Joining us now to discuss this further is Nao Murakami, the founder and general partner at Incubate Fund Asia. Now, thank you so much for joining us on Startup Street. If I can first ask you, you're a Japanese venture capital fund and you've launched in India, an India-focused fund now. So talk to us about what global investor interest is like for Indian startups. What makes you bullish about the Indian startup ecosystem? And you've also rebranded in India. What was the idea behind this?
Okay. Thank you so much for having me on the show. As the Japanese fund, we are very bullish about the Indian startup ecosystem and its growth. And mainly from the 3 points, we are very bullish about the Indian market. One is obviously the opportunity. India is the most populated country in the world and also large, fast-growing economy we have. But at the same time, there are a lot of inefficiencies in every single industries. It's good actually for the startups and the investors because it means there are a lot of opportunity for the startups to crack. So there are a lot of opportunities. This is one thing. And then second thing is the human resource perspective. Right? India have a massive number of the very talented engineers and also business-minded people. So this human resource access is also a key for the startup growth. And then India has this point as well. And then third point is obviously the access to the capital. It means the money. So the investors like us from the foreign countries are now looking at India as a very hot market. And then it means for the Indian startups, there's a good access to the capital. So the massive opportunity exists. And then there's a huge human resource access also, and then also good access to the capital. All of these 3 points, we feel the necessary points for any startup ecosystem to grow, and India has these 3 points. So we are very much bullish about the Indian market.
So you're very bullish on the India market, and you've given us those reasons, but also tell us the reason as to why you rebranded the company out here.
Okay, so this is very simple. So we started the investment in India in 2016, and then we started as an Incubate Fund India. And we ran 2 funds. And in these 2 funds, we are simply focusing in India only. So we have done 29 investments in India, and then no investment in Southeast Asia yet. But we feel there are some similarities between India and the Southeast Asia. And then we feel our winning mantra we earned in India can work in Southeast Asia as well. So we're now expanding our operations a little bit more to Southeast Asia as well. So we just rebranded from the Incubate Fund India to Incubate Fund Asia to cover the Southeast Asia as well.
All right. How much was the first close of this fund, and when do you expect to close the entire fund as well? And how many startups are you looking at deploying funds into? What's the ticket size of these investments?
Right. So the fast closing amount based on the regulations and in our LP agreement, we cannot disclose. But we are targeting 50 million. And then we're trying to make the 20 to 25 new investments from these new funds. And then we're trying to close by the next April 2024 as a final close timing. And then this is the points. Yeah.
Right. And have you already identified a few startups that you want to invest in? Talk to us about this. And based on your earlier investments, you've always bet big on the B2B, B2C supply chain and consumer tech space. So are these still your top sectors? Any others that are looking interesting?
Yeah, so actually we already made 2 investments. We committed 2 investments from these new funds, and then both are still in the B2B supply chain space, actually. So we're still very much bullish about the supply chain play in India. So we keep investing in this segment. But from these new funds, we may going to focus 2 business as our focus sectors. One is the allying Indian middle class, especially in tier 2, tier 3 cities. So any business, service, technologies which is targeting tier 2, tier 3 consumers will be the good target for us. And then the another one is the SMB enablers. So obviously like SMBs are backbone of the Indian growth, but yet there are a lot of inefficiencies, and then we should solve that issue. So SMB enabler will be another good target for us as well.
All right. And you just told us you have about 29 startups in your India portfolio, like Captain Fresh, Yulu, Shop Kirana, and Plum. So talk to us about how your portfolio is currently performing. And you've also said that you'll deploy some of the money from your new fund into your strong performing companies as well. So any ones that you've identified?
Not yet for that follow investment yet, but for the performance wise and then how our portfolios are doing currently. Obviously, like last 2 years, even in India, there are a lot of like funding winter type of things happening, right? And then we spent like last 2 years we talking to the startup our portfolio founders very closely to make sure the company can lead to the profitability soon. And then actually among our portfolios, 75% of the portfolios already reached to the CMC positive. It means the business is already profitable. And then about a half companies are almost reaching to the EBITDA breakeven or already reached to the EBITDA breakeven. It means they're already profitable. So most of our portfolio companies are very much healthy state in terms of the business, and then it means they are not increase the valuations, but the actual business is not growing. No, they actually have the tangible good business, and then it's highly valued. So the business fundamental is very strong in our portfolio. So we are very much happy to see the performance of our portfolio. Yeah.
All right. So your bets are paying off, and all your portfolio companies are doing well. All right, now we're completely out of time. Thank you so much for joining us on the show, and we wish you all the best going forward.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Well, with that, it's time for us to take a short break. But coming up, 5 students from Goa are all set to represent India at the first Global Challenge, an international robotics competition. We bring you a special report on the other side. Stay tuned.